I'm Bill the Geek, broadcasting not live from Mazatlan, Mexico. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel, and we make videos about the joys of living in Mexico. In this video, we're going to interview one of Mazatlan's biggest music stars. Here in Mazatlan, they call him the Brenster. If you don't know the Brenster, it's a very interesting story. He has country western music hits from all over the world, top 20s. He's been singing his heart out for years and years. If you've seen the Brenster 100 times in concert down here in Mazatlan, you're going to learn things about him today that you never knew. So let's get right to the interview introducing Brent, or better known in Mazatlan as the Brenster. Hello everybody, we're here. We have a real treat for you today. We're here with Brent McAthey, and in Mazatlan he's better known as Brent or the Brenster. He is the star of Mazatlan. Thank you, Brent, for being with us here today.
Oh, Bill, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's great.
Oh,
I've been watching all your videos, and a lot of people follow them, and it gives a lot of insight to what's going on here in Mexico, for sure.
Well, people know me. I have family that know me. I have friends I've known for 40 years that know me. And many of you know Brent. Many of you have seen him many times. But I bet even people that think they know him the best. I'm going to tell you some things right off the bat so you know who this guy is before we get to other things, okay? This is the Brenster.
Right, that's right.
This is the Brenster, and let's just go through some of these awards and things that he has accomplished in his time creating. Best Country Artist, Most Promising Artist on Record, Best Single of the Year, 3-time nominee for Song of the Year, Most Outstanding Canadian Male Artist, Video of the Year, Album of the Year, Best-Selling Album, Record Producer of the Year, Songwriter of the Year, Most Outstanding New Canadian Male Artist. Oh, now that's just international stuff, okay? That's just the international Canadian stuff. He's a Canadian, okay? Oh, but let's get to the Mazatlans. In Mazatlan, they should have a statue of you on the mountain.
Well, that's a bit of a stretch, but
oh, you should have said yeah.
Yeah,
okay. Okay, in Mazatlan, they made him tourism ambassador for the state of Sinaloa. How do you say that?
Sinaloa.
I've only lived here for 3 or 4 months. I'm trying, okay? Tourism ambassador for the city of Mazatlan. Mazzy Award, Mazatlan, Mexico's best musician of the year. Mazzy Award, Mazatlan, Mexico's best thing to do. Mazzy Award, musician entertainer of the year. That's who we're talking to today. I've seen the Brenster here in concert a few times, about 5 blocks away from here, right on the beach, and we're going to talk about those events here shortly. But before, I mean, look at him. Doesn't he look like a normal guy?
He is pretty normal.
Oh, okay.
I'm just a guy.
You
know.
Okay. And this isn't on my list of questions.
Okay.
But I met a guy, and the guy said, because on stage, we're going to show some video clips of him on stage. He's an animal on stage. He's the man. When he's on the stage, he is the man with his music, with his songs. But someone told me that there are 2 of him. One is Brent, and one is the Brenster.
Well, I think most artists have kind of I'm the same guy, but you got to have some kind of an alter ego when you're performing, you know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's get with some questions here. But for those of you on my channel that are not familiar with the Brenster, or even for those of you that have seen him 1,000 or 5,000 times, we'll get into that in a minute. I want to share with what's under under the show.
Sure.
So where are you from?
Well, I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Okay.
And I actually went to Mexico, to Puerto Vallarta, the very first time in 1983. So you can figure that that's 40 years ago this year. And I went with a friend and his parents, and I just loved it in Mexico. And I spent 11 winters in Puerto Vallarta, and then I've been here for the last 30 years in Mazatlan. So.
Okay, now I read your bio on your website.
Yeah.
And it said that, yeah, you're from Calgary, but it mentions a place called White Valley.
A Water Valley. Yeah.
Water Valley,
yeah.
And it mentions the ranch.
Yeah.
What was that?
My parents had a ranch just outside of Water Valley, Alberta, and I grew up there, and we were there on weekends and summer, and so I kind of had the best of both worlds, being able to have the country thing and grew up in the city. So I feel very fortunate to have had that. And that's kind of where the music started, with the country music, sitting around the campfire with the neighbors, and that's where it all started.
Did you have animals on the ranch?
Yeah, they weren't our animals, but the neighbors ran some cattle and horses on our place. And
did you ride horses?
I did ride a lot of horses when I was young, yeah.
Okay, now, in your bio, it mentions, you say something about a 1/4. Oh.
Yeah, a quarter section of land.
What does that mean?
That's 160 acres.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
That's freaking huge.
Yeah, it was a good-sized place.
Oh my God! You can get lost out there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, but I knew almost every inch of that place. So dirt biking and horseback riding.
What a life!
I was very fortunate. Yeah.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I have no brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're
I'm an only child.
An only child out on 150 acres with a horse?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So when did you start singing?
Well, I started singing out on the farm there with the neighbors around the fire, but I was in a group called the Calgary Boys Choir, which has been rated the second biggest boys choir in the world after the Tabernacle Choir.
No.
Yeah. And so I started then, and of course then when my voice changed and I hit puberty, then they kick you out of there. But that was my first kind of experience in professional way of performing, and it helped me a lot for what was to come, you know.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how did you learn to play the guitar?
You know, I was just kind of self-taught, and of course the neighbors out there on the farm, they kind of taught me, and I never took lessons, and I never professed to be a great guitar player, because I'm not, but I play enough music to write all my songs. So, and I leave the guitar playing to the guitar players, you know.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay, now, okay. I don't even know how to ask this, but but how do you write a song, and when did you say I'm going to write songs?
Well, you know, when I was in high school, before I was playing guitar, I wrote a lot of poetry, and then, you know, that progressed into songwriting. But my songs all come from personal experience or people that I've met along the way. You know, they tell you to write about what you know, and so that's kind of what I've done. So I've written almost 500 songs in my career, and recorded over 200. So
oh God,
yeah.
Wow,
I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good for you. Now, okay, so you started out talking about, well, first time I came to Mazatlan in 1983, I think you said.
Well, it was 93 here in Mazatlan. 83 in Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, and okay, in Puerto Vallarta. Oh, so how old were you when you got there?
I was 15 the first time I went there. So I've been coming to Mexico for 40 years.
What was that your parents' deal?
No, the first time I went, I went with a friend and his parents who wintered there, and I just loved it. And then 10 years later, or 11 years, once I was in the music career, I'd met a guy named Dick Dameron, who was...
and he was your mentor, correct?
He became my mentor and one of my greatest friends. And he was it's kind of as big as you can be in Canada. He'd won all the awards, and he kind of took me under his wing, and he'd been spending the winters here. So I started coming, and he and I hung out, and I learned so much from him. And we wrote together and toured together, and I'm very grateful to have had him in my life, for sure.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. So, how did you discover, let me say that I've been here 17 years.
Yeah.
And Puerto Vallarta was my first stop.
Oh, good.
I was there for 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just came down with a computer and a bag of clothes and never went back.
Yeah.
But how did you discover Mazatlan?
Well, as I said, I'd been to an award show, a Canadian Country Music Award show in Edmonton, and when I'd met Dick, and I said, well, I go to Puerto Vallarta. He goes, I'm in Mazatlan, so if you ever want to change, come see me, and I did. I went from Puerto Vallarta one year and came and stayed with Dick, and loved it ever since. So I've been back ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your first gig in Mazatlan?
Well, I helped Dick do his gig for quite a while, setting the gear up and kind of just kind of being in the background, and he'd get me up and sing a few songs. And then I decided if I was going to try and make a life here and spend more time, I had to get a gig and make a little bit of money. So my very first gig was at the place called the Purple Onion, which is now called La Katrina. And I played there for 5 seasons every Saturday night. And then we kind of outgrew that place, and I went down the street a little ways to a place called Los Serapes, which is just on the main drag. And I played every Saturday night there for 3 years. And then and then I created the Beach Bash and been playing there for 13 years at Diego's.
Oh, we're going to get there, Brent.
All right.
Brenster, we're going to get there. Okay, to step back a little bit. Okay, I don't know, you're out on the ranch maybe you're in Puerto Vallarta. You have your mentor helping you out. And if you ask me this, I don't know if I can answer it, but at that period of time in your life, or even now, do you have an artist? Did you have an artist like, some famous artist that you looked up to, that moved you, that...
Yeah,
many. Maybe it was many.
Well, I did have a few. Of course, Dick was one of them. But, I always appreciated, Jimmy Buffett. He was never a guy that you heard a ton on the radio, but he created a brand and a lifestyle. And between him and Kenny Chesney, I think...
Who is Kenny Chesney?
He's a great, big, huge country artist, but his love was definitely, beach music and writing songs about that. And he convinced his record company back in the day to let him, create the music that he was feeling, like the beach stuff. And so, most of I've got like 4 full-length CDs full of music that are all my Mexico experience.
Okay. Okay.
So I think that I would say that Kenny and Jimmy and Dick Dameron and a few country artists, of course, that's kind of inspired me to make the kind of music that I do. Yeah.
So you've been doing this for many years. You've had so many successes. You've touched so many people that enjoy your music. But to go back maybe 5 minutes ago, who was your mentor? What is his first name?
Dick Dameron.
Dick. Okay. Yeah. So you were behind the scenes with Dick and doing things with him before you were getting your own gigs and stuff. Okay, so you go. you've been doing this forever.
Well,
What was there ever a time when you were thinking like, I can't do this. I'm not making any money. I can't survive doing it. I'm not famous. I'm not getting gigs. I'm going to quit. Did that?
Well, let me reiterate. I toured all over the world, out of Canada and Europe and different places for about 20 years before I was spending 3-4 months here every winter until about 15 years ago, and then I became full-time. But I kind of got to as far as I could as an independent artist in Canada. And I just thought, I'm going to take what I've learned throughout my career, and I'm going to come down here and kind of recreate myself. And that's why I just dropped my full name and just went with Brenster. One of the reasons was DJs had such a hard time pronouncing my name on the radio when they'd play my records, McAthey, McAthey, McCarthy. So I just said, how about Brenster? And not that was a big thing, but so I had a great career before I came here and kind of recreated myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to show some clips of him. I first saw the Brenster at this place called Diego's, and we're going to talk about what he does there. But and when I show these video clips, you're going to see him doing his thing. He's so full of life and the people. Yeah, you're going to see like 500 people in this bar on the beach watching him and having a good time. And he's just like he's all there. But what do you do when you're not writing songs or performing? You live very close to where we are now, so do I. But what do you do when you're not creating or performing?
Well, even though I only play once a week here on Tuesdays, there's so much that goes into that show. There's advertising and the marketing, and I have such a great team of people. I created a production company here called Brenster Productions, and I have 11 staff on there, from the sound people to my gift shop, all the merchandise, my manager. So it's not just people say, oh yeah, they work 4 hours a week. Well, not quite. It's a lot more intense than that. But to answer your question, the things I like to do, I love to walk the beach. I love golf, and I got a couple of great buddies that that I golf with once a week here.
No way.
And
are you any good?
I can be good, but like everybody else, it's golf. So one game is great. The next game is I'm never playing this again. So
do you shoot 70s?
I shot a 77 a couple of weeks ago, and last week I shot 96. So as I say, it kind of comes and goes.
Keep your day job.
Keep my day job.
Keep your day job.
I always say if I could putt, I could be on tour.
Okay. Another thing, are your parents living?
My parents are living. My mom, unfortunately, is in a lockdown dementia unit in Calgary, Alberta. And my dad's doing well, him and his wife. They also live in an assisted living place, but they're both doing great. And all three of them have been so supportive of what I do. And, I would definitely not be where I am today without all their love and support.
Oh, wow. Sure. That's fabulous. Yeah. That's fabulous. That's fabulous, man. Yeah. Okay, now. Oh, okay. In your bio, and I'm going to put Brent's website and his Facebook page below in the description.
Great.
But in his bio, you got to read it. It talks about all the countries he's been to, and in his bio it says he went to a Country Western Music Festival in Lithuania.
I did. I headlined
2 times.
Twice I headlined that show.
What was that like?
Well, I'll tell you, the first time I was scared to death. was 19,000 people.
Oh
in
my God!
In a big soccer stadium.
Oh
and
God!
I'd never played for that many people, so it was a little nerve-wracking. But the next time that I went, a couple years later, and headlined it, I put my hat on, pretended I was Garth, and got out there and put on the show. I should have put on the first time, but it was quite an experience. And of course, it was halfway around the world. So, but it was. That was the biggest crowd that I'd ever played for.
Oh my God!
It was pretty cool.
And were people grooving with you?
Oh yeah, and it's an international country music festival, called Visagina, and they have different artists from all over the world. So it was a great experience. Really great.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And what languages do they speak in?
Well, Lithuanian, and it used to be part of Russia, of course, but it was something that's in the memory banks forever, for sure.
Oh my God!
The second year that I went, they actually had me as on the poster. Yeah, I'll try and find that picture for you.
Now I must say, we were supposed to be at a different location this morning, and we're here for a different reason altogether, okay? But I was walking over to Diego's, which is like 5 blocks from here, to meet the Brenster. And I'm walking, thinking about the Brenster. What questions am I going to ask? And I look over across the street, and there's this bar. And this bar has this big sign out front of the bar, and it says, the Brenster.
Home of the Brenster.
It says the Brenster, New Year's Eve.
Oh, yes.
New Year's Eve 2023. I'm thinking, what? You know, and I must say that I just saw you this Tuesday, and we met some Canadians. We didn't know who these people were, but it was a mom, a dad, and her son. I think the son was like 23 years old.
Okay.
Canadians, okay? Yeah. And the son is sitting there, and he says, this music. He says, some of these songs I've heard like 1,000 times in Canada. And he was so excited. He was saying, Mom and Dad, this guy's famous. You know, he's been doing
infamous.
Infamous. Oh, okay.
Well, I had a lot of radio airplay over the years.
Okay.
Around the world, but mostly in Canada.
And you had a song that was top 20 in Canada.
Yeah, I've had a few top 20 hits. Yep.
Okay, that, you know, I've been doing stuff for years. I never had top 20 anything. So
and to reiterate there, where you saw my poster at La Katrina.
Yeah. Okay.
This would be the 5th year that I played New Year's Eve there, and that's the same place I told you where I started at the Purple Onion. It's changed hands and changed names, but that's where I first started. And New Year's Eve will be my 20-year anniversary of starting to play here in Mazatlan. So it's going to be a special night. So I hope some people will come out and enjoy New Year's Eve with us there.
You got to go see Brenster that night.
Yeah, you can get tickets at La Katrina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell us, the event that happens every Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at Diego's, and I'm going to read this right off the paper. It's called the
Brenster's Beach Bash.
The Brenster's Beach Bash.
That's right.
Can you and how long have you been doing that?
This is our 13th season.
And it starts in November and
the first Tuesday in November to the last Tuesday in April.
Okay.
So it's basically 6 months long. And
so people show up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It goes until 6.
Yeah, the doors open at 1. So
okay.
We try and get everybody in there, and we have a season here, of course, that it changes with how many people are coming. But in January, February, March, the real high season here, we can have 450 people there. So. Okay. And we're looking forward to having that back again because, as you know, the pandemic really kind of changed things here. And I was so fortunate to be able to continue to play during that, but I was only allowed to have 100 people there.
No.
Yeah. But so many of my friends in Canada, nobody could play anywhere. So I'm very grateful for that.
Oh, and for what it's worth, you pay 450 pesos. That's like $22 and you can drink anything. You can drink Jack Daniels, beer, whatever you want.
Well, not Jack.
Oh, you can't drink Jack.
Not top shelf stuff.
Oh,
but beer and vodka and margaritas and stuff. All you can drink for 4 hours plus the show, $22.
Yeah.
And people say, well, that's pretty good. When I'm back home, it's $15 for a glass of wine.
Right.
So it's
Right.
pretty affordable.
And it's an excellent show. How did that? I don't understand, because I've been there a few times, and it's always packed. And you're moving your music around, changing what you're singing, but the people are always there. Right. I mean, it's full, and the people that I'm with, they say, "Oh, just wait another month."
Yeah. Well, as I said, I've been here 20 years, so I've built and created a following and I always say every week, without those people, there's no me. Without you, there's no me. I have the greatest people, the greatest followers, friends, fans, and it grows about 10 or 15% a year. And so, I mean, I owe my success to all those people. And of course the people behind the scenes that help put the show on. So it's just and people ask me what is the greatest thing about your show? And I say it's seeing how many friends have been made. People come and they meet new people here. That really makes me feel good. People come here and they say, we have way more friends here than we do back home, and we can walk there. It's only a few blocks away. Everybody's so close here, and we have such a wonderful community of Canadians and Americans here.
Oh, yes. And he's right on it. I've only lived here for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
I have made so many friends.
Oh, it's incredible.
And I've made so many friends at Brenster's Beach. I've met so many, and they're all loving, intelligent people.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And you know what I love about Mazatlan? And I tell people this, it doesn't matter if you're living on a $1,500 a month pension or if you're worth $100 million. All those people come together. There's no classes here. I mean, I think probably in other places around the world, if you got a 20-foot yacht, you're hanging out with the 20-foot yacht people, and they're not hanging out with the 100. But everybody here comes together, and everybody's on the same level, and it's a very special place when you look at it that way.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's wonderful. Brenster, can you please tell us about Country in Mazatlan music series?
Yeah, the Country in Mazatlan country concert series was an idea that I had, a show that I created and produced, where we did a show it was at the Playa Mazatlan for 4 seasons, and then we moved to El Cid in their big showroom. And I had a whole bunch of big Canadian acts, Michelle Wright, Patricia Conroy, and Joan Kennedy, and the Good Brothers, and Dwayne Steele, a whole bunch of Canadian superstars that I'd worked with or toured with, or who had treated me so good when I was so green you could grow me when I first started in the music business. And I wanted to give something back. And so I invited them down, and that's when I started working with the tourism board here, and they were wonderful and so supportive to help us with making all that happen. It was a big project, but and I always said, if those artists come here and have a wonderful time, when they go back and they're doing their concerts, they're going to say, we just came back from Mazatlan. It was fantastic. You got to get down there. And so we were trying to get the word out to a greater audience about how wonderful Mazatlan is. And I came up with a slogan and wrote a jingle that promotes Mazatlan, and it's called Make It a Plan to Visit Mazatlan.
Oh, okay.
And but that show was great. We did it for 5 years, and I hope someday that we can do it again sometime and get some more big Canadian and American acts down here to promote Mazatlan.
Is that a one-night show?
It was a one-night show. It was once a month, and we did about 5.
Ooh, once a month.
Yeah, once a month.
With different artists?
With different artists.
Oh.
So, and we'd have them come down here, and they'd do the show, but we'd take them around and show them the highlights of Mazatlan, and every single one of them just loved it and spoke praises of Mazatlan, and I'm so grateful to all of them for believing in what I was trying to do and for coming and supporting it and making it a great success.
Okay. So your first single in 1989. And it was called On the Highway with Brent McAthey.
Yeah, actually, that was my first album. My very first single was a song called I'm in Love.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And as I was saying, to date myself, back in the late 80s when I first started recording, my first records were on 45, and you'd mail those to the radio station. And then we went to cassettes. And then we went to CDs, and now I have a new product that is, if I can get the box open here, which I probably can't, but anyway, I have a new thing here. It's a USB stick, comes in a little box, and it's in the shape of a guitar, and it has 70 of my original songs on it and 9 videos. So you can plug it into your TV or your car or your boat, because new cars and computers don't even have a CD-ROM anymore.
Yes.
So I put all that music on this one little stick, and I sell those at the show, and people love them. So you can just put it in your pocket and go to a party, or get it in your car and drive for 6 hours and have continuous music. So.
Oh, and we're talking about music distribution here. So, thank you very much.
No.
Thank you very much, Brenster.
You betcha.
I haven't said that the Brenster's music is available on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Pandora, and how do you say?
Deezer.
Deezer.
Yeah, I think it's. I have a membership to a company that distributes that music. It's on every music streaming site in the world. So I don't know what they're called, but they have a music streaming sites in Europe and all over the world. So you can just type my name in and it comes up. But of course, here in North America, Spotify and Amazon and stuff are the most popular. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'm selfish, but I think I've shared with people your feeling.
For sure.
You know, I think because you got to come see this guy in Mazatlan. People love him. He loves them. I think that's what makes it all work. He does 4 sets?
No, I do 3 one-hour shows with 2 half-hour breaks. So it goes from 2 to 6. But it's a long, hot afternoon out there in the sun. But
yes,
and the people dancing in the sand and having a great time.
Yes, but the thing is, I was there last week, and I looked out where the people were at the tables drinking beer and everything, and there was Brenster. He's out with the people, kissing the women,
I don't know
gently on the cheek maybe, and shaking hands, and.
But that's the whole part of.
And I mean, he's been putting out for an hour, and he's on break, and he's out sharing his affection with the people you just said that.
And again, Bill.
Yes.
Without those people, there's no me.
Yes.
So I try and be at the front door too to greet those people, and then throughout the afternoon on my breaks I try and go around and let those people know how much I appreciate them coming. You know, that's the most important part of the job. You know, it's getting up there and singing is one thing, but to have those people feel something, feel a connection with me, that's the most important thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've run out of questions.
Oh my God. My last question is, what What did I not ask that I should have asked or that you would have liked me to ask?
I don't know. I mean, I just feel so fortunate to be able to live in a beautiful place that I love. I always tell people, I'm not getting rich, but I live a pretty good life. And so many people, they don't have that balance, you know. It's not always about the money. You got to have money to survive and do things, but to be surrounded by great people in a place that you love, can't beat that, Bill. I mean, I really think that's the key to happiness. And you know, I have a beautiful woman, Mexican lady in my life now, and been a couple of years, Martha, and she's taking me to a different level too. And as she says, she likes to think she makes me shine, and I guarantee you that having her in my life has made me a happier man.
And what is her name again?
Martha.
Martha.
Yeah.
I understand you guys are getting ready to have kids.
No. No, we're past that stage. Yeah, but she has 3 beautiful daughters and three great grandsons, and
wow.
so it's I'm so fortunate to have such a great family with her, because you know, I don't have any brothers and sisters, and but my family is here in Mazatlan. All my Canadian American friends are my family.
Very good, very good. Well, Brenster, I want to thank you so much,
Bill,
for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brensters, for sharing your story with us today. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel. We have many more videos to come. So thank you for watching, and please think about clicking that subscribe button.